If you're a bloke and you have a problem, who do you turn to? Well, it seems like too many of us are not talking to anyone at all, even when it's something as serious as mental health issues. There can sometimes still be a stigma associated to men talking about their well-being, and it's not uncommon to be told to man up. Now though, the local NHS trust here in Leeds are spearheading the Man Up campaign to banish the taboo and get us chaps chatting.
I think in this culture in particular, there's still a big ethos about men being real men, being tough, being hard, taking it on the chin. Man up is something that we're told all the time. Don't be such a girl, be a man. I think the whole macho culture is very real in this country. And so if you're not feeling like a man, it's hard to actually confess to that, own up and begin to talk about it. That there's a whole idea that women naturally are very good at talking to each other, getting together in groups and talking about issues, whereas men traditionally stomp off to the back of the cave and just sulk. The worst thing you can possibly do is begin to shut yourself off and isolate yourself from those people who can perhaps know you as well as you know yourself, so friends and family, people who can actually encourage you to go out and do something. The minute you become isolated, your problems become magnified because all you can do is mull them over in your own head. The more you think about it, the bigger those issues become, the more challenging they become. The less there's a chance of you coming up with a solution. So your world begins to grow smaller, the problems begin to grow bigger, and eventually you're in quite a scary place.
Those who have experienced issues such as anxiety and depression, like Matt Dale, have found that taking that first step in talking to someone about their mental health and well-being is something that they had to overcome.
My individual experience is from suffering through anxiety-based issues for a number of years, which then developed into depression and panic attacks through life experiences, not dealing with them, not talking about them, kind of hiding them, or possibly not even understanding what was happening to myself at the time, and using either bad coping mechanisms or avoidance, I guess, is probably one of the big contributions to sort of affecting how my mental health deteriorated over the years. I think I started through my partner and certain people at work, started to talk to them. But that really, when it got past that they weren't able to help any further, where I thought I needed outside professional help, I went to my doctors. And just to explain what was happening, I was having sort of stress-related panic attacks.
According to the NHS, 72% of people treated for depression are women, but 75% of people who take their own lives are men. Paul Culling reached a point where things were so bad that, having no one he felt he could talk to, he took an overdose.
I got really low. I spent time in hospital because I took an overdose. And then I was off work a long time. Before that at work, I felt that I couldn't really talk to colleagues. We'd be in the canteen and there may be a story about mental health and there'd be some quite derogatory remarks from the men, and so that made me sort of withdraw into myself even more. I think there's still a lot of misunderstanding and misconceptions about mental health.
Changing attitudes towards mental health is key for the Man Up campaign, and they hope that doing so will help to start the conversation that matters.
It's proven that the more you talk, particularly about psychological, relationship, emotional type problems, that actually a lot of the cure is in talking. The minute you start talking, all kinds of things come out, people begin to understand a little bit more. You hear yourself expressing your own feelings and your own emotions. That's the beginning of the journey to recovery and acknowledging that there's a problem. And once you've started that conversation, you can have it with the people who can actually help to put things in place that will support you in the future.
On the air, I'm Hugh Caswell.